LBC 97.3, Petri Hosken.
I'm amazed because a lot of the messages that came through to one of the papers were very anti this idea. But to us here at LBC 97.3, a lot of people are saying it's a good idea to charge motorcyclists. Why not? It's only £1 a day. I think only is relative. But there you go. Charlie in Battersea. Hello, Charlie.
Hello, Petri. I'm actually calling up in a semi-official capacity because I'm on the committee of the No to Bike Parking Tax campaign.
Marvellous.
It's a sad day, I think, that the councillor, Danny Chalkley, and the people that he works with seem to have ignored the largest on-street demonstrations against Westminster City Council ever seen in the history of the Metropolitan Police. And then they come out and say it's nothing they haven't seen before. This isn't a small thing. I know it's only £1 a day, and relative, of course, to the costs that we all have to put up with in London, it will seem relatively small. But I think there's another issue here, which is one of honesty in local government. When we were told that this was coming in, they said, it'll fund all kinds of improvements. Actually, Alistair Gilchrist said that they wouldn't charge until the improvements were done. We haven't seen any improvements. Any improvements since the charge came in have been minimal. I think at one point they'd raised £3 million and spent £23,000, which is the same amount they spent on a civic dinner. When that was found out, they said it was for controlling demand, which is the opposite that they said to the Motorcycle Industry Association, who they assured, we're not going to try and limit the number of bikes. And that also leads to the question, why would you want to control demand? Because you're supposed to be encouraging flexible modes of transport to get people in from further out from the suburbs. Bicycles are brilliant. I certainly absolutely would not charge bicycles. I think it's a ridiculous idea. Although, of course, if you look back to when Ken was looking at putting number plates on bikes, you might wonder why. But motorbikes bring people in from further out of town. They're a vital thing for people who, in this weather, for example, if the trains and the buses aren't working, it's one of the only few ways they can get in.
The thing is, Charlie, that the message that I'm getting very loudly here, actually, is that, well, why not? I have to pay. I don't know if that's the politics of envy, and I don't know why, because I personally, I've staked my claim now, I'm with you guys. I think that you've been encouraged to take bikes to ease congestion, which you've done, and now you're being punished for it. That's the way I see it. Of course, that's not what Martin Lowe was saying. But it's only £1 a day, Charlie. That's what people are saying. I have to pay more than that for half an hour.
It's a fair point, and I can see why people would say that. I totally understand that they're saying, we pay, why shouldn't you? It's rather like the congestion charge. People say, why shouldn't we pay that? And the obvious answer to that is because bikes don't cause congestion. Martin Lowe in particular, he's quite interesting. When I had a meeting in Parliament quite a while ago when all of this stuff started off, he said, I said to him, he said to me, it's not fair for people to cross-subsidise motorbikes. Well, now we're cross-subsidising everyone else to the tune of rather a lot of money. It's only £1, but when you toss it all up, it's a hell of a lot of money that they're taking in. In addition to that, you've got to ask yourself that the space that a bike takes up is pretty minimal to begin with. The reason why there's a problem with the bays is because they suddenly ramped up production of bays in order to look good. They actually didn't really improve the bays at all for a number of years. That's why it got to the state it's in at the moment. To my mind, it comes down to the fact that they're just looking for a new source of revenue. They know that now they've got the pay-by-phone system, which there are also questions about, they can charge motorbikes. Alistair Gilchrist said it himself. He said, we always wanted to charge motorbikes, but we couldn't. Then pay-by-phone came along, and now we realise that we can. It is a cash grab. It's as simple as that. They're not actually using this to fund what they say they're funding. They're not using it for anything other. They're trying to hide these figures in the rest of their parking budgets. There was £1 million allocated to extra expenses for the bike charging scheme.
Would you be happier as a body to the No to Bike Parking Tax campaign? Would you be happier if you saw an improvement in security? You saw at night maybe the parking bays lit, better ways of locking your bike up. Would you be happier to pay that £1?
I think it's interesting. There's a debate that's gone on within the campaign quite a lot. And, some people have said yes, other people have said no. I think from a personal perspective, it's a dangerous principle when you start taking things that are supposed to be encouraged in an urban environment like bikes and going, I can charge for that, so I'm going to stop making money out of it. Especially when the actual cost, what are they paying? What are we paying for? It's a bit of road, which doesn't really have any maintenance costs, except for the fact that they're charging for it. It's the concept of paying for that little sort of 8-foot stretch. Yes, obviously it'd be nice if there was better security in there. Obviously it'd be better, and I think night lights probably is less of an issue because a lot of people commute into Westminster and then commute back out again. But, there have been those who said, we'd be happy to pay for security. But then you have to ask the question, why did Westminster turn around and go, we'll make it free inside our car parks, which have lighting, electricity, security, staff, all of these things that make up a car park, but we'll have to charge for it on street. There's no logic to that at all. The only reason they did that was because they knew they'd make more money on street than they would if they charged in the car park.
Charlie.
That's it. It's all about the cash.
Does the fight go on?
Absolutely, the fight goes on. We've got a legal fund which we are now preparing a legal case for. There are serious questions about the tendering process that was used for Verus. There are some major issues that could well bring down actually the whole pay-by-phone system if they're not careful. The fight definitely goes on, and I think actually they've got themselves into deeper water than they were before.
Charlie, thank you very much indeed. Charlie there, who's No to Bike Parking Tax campaigner.